get this going. So we've got a few aquariums here. And I'll probably need to look back, but this is one of the ones. We could use. So children need to be able to see into it, so that probably means we're going to bring the level of the aquarium down to like here. We probably want to do glass barriers. Let's grab all of this. Let's bring this down. That looks pretty perfect. Now I am do want to try something. Jake. I was about to say, I wish there was a shorter version. There is. Let's see. Why is that at a weird angle? That's weird. That's weird. Let's see. 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 Let's see. And we can just use the colors from here. Shoot, I picked the wrong color. No problem though. No problem. Let's see. It's all in line. All of these. We'll just bring those down to the ground. And then grab something like this. This water annoys me so much. Let's get this in line. Get this going. All right, we've got the basic. Something like this for the backing? Question mark. Hey, how's it going? Happy holidays. Kind of working this out. It's looking pretty good, I think. I'm doing quite good. I've got some inspiration for this aquarium. I feel like it's working pretty well. I'll show you a bit of our progress that we've been having recently. I want that to protrude a little bit. We'll keep this rock shelf. This is supposed to be for the Tennessee River, which is very much the coldest river in our system of waterways that we are representing here. So we're talking about very much northern Alabama. And it has a lot of these limestone cliffs. So let's finish those structures. I wonder how much can we work these in? Thanks. Streaming for another hour and 20 minutes or so. So I usually stream around 8 to 10 p.m. Central. I like that. I don't think I do that much. Got better rock types. Like I could put some of these in here, but that's probably I think I prefer using little rock cave kind of thing here. Then we'll just take this, and this, and we will bring it just outside of the glass there. We're going to recolor that stone in a little bit. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. That's not what I was trying to say. It was beginning to look like a rock shelf, which is exactly what we're trying to look like. And what should I call you? Shorthand. Feels rude just calling you idiot. But something that I'm doing on the channel recently is we're kind of doing some lore for the zoo. So, each viewer gets basically $1 million per month to spend between our different projects. So if you like and we try and do some lore into it, so like your company or something that's supporting, that's how we just try and make it make sense. It's looking pretty good. Let's grab the right rock color from... Ooh, there's a rock right there. Perfect. This is exactly what... Okay. But, I feel like that's actually not the right rock color. I feel like we have a brighter limestone color. Maybe not. Maybe it will really pop when, maybe it will pop when we get more lighting in there. So now we just need to hide this filter. But yeah, basically we have different projects that, well, they need different money to, I have a post on my YouTube about it, so if you'd like to look at that for reference, you can as well, because that's going to make a little bit more sense probably than I can while trying to also build. But basically, each project has a budget. You can go over the budget to kind of boost... Yeah, I think it's from my post today, in fact, if you want to reference that. But so, we've got $75,000 in the budget currently, but anyone on YouTube or Twitch can do this, to work on our aquariums. So that basically funds about 4 of this. No, it's lore wise. It's not, I'm not expecting anyone to actually donate. You can on Twitch, and that is bonuses, but for free, you get basically $1 million on the per month, and that can be apportioned. Yeah, no, I want people to be able to be engaged with this and do fake donations. Yeah, no. I'm not trying to pressure you into. It's looking quite good. Let me see. But yeah, my not Google post, my YouTube post from today has some of the projects. Let me see, where was that? Created a reference image. Yeah, there's some explanation. Wait, it's more recent. There's some explanation in my YouTube post from today, but also, um, basically, you can just say what habitats you're wanting to put the donation towards. If you want to come up with a name for characters, or that is looking pretty good to what I wanted it to look. Or like a company that your character is representing or something like that. Um, that also works. I'm trying to think how I want to do this. I think something like this will work pretty nicely. And the info stations will go here. We do want to, trying to remember what I put in for the chipmunks. I do want to think, I should have, I should clarify that I think I should make it a rule that you can't do more than 3 times the cost of what it is. So the base one, 10,000, gets it to be a low budget. 20,000 would make it a high budget, and or mid budget, and then 30,000 for the chipmunk would make it a high budget. Insectarium is already paid for, actually. Someone donated today on that. So you could do an extra 10,000 to make it a high budget Insectarium. In which case we'll actually have to really work on that, which is cool. I like the idea. I've got a few ideas on how to make that a little bit more high budget. But if you wanted to do 30,000 for the chipmunk and 10,000. Also, if you enjoy Jurassic World Evolution 3 or Prehistoric Kingdom, you might want to save onto some money. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to let the donation be 500,000 for. Okay. We'll say that we. Okay. We'll upgrade those both to high budget. And we can get to work on those in a bit. I think we can do that. is a fun aquarium, though. I do really like how this is looking. I will mark both of those as being funded. Technically, we already have a chipmunk habitat, but I don't like it at all, so we do need to renovate anyway. It's looking pretty good. We're gonna make all that null because that's one thing I don't want to deal with, that being not straight, so. Let's get this all lined up. Get this all in line. Wait, let's grab this. There we go. Now, let's grab some decals. Though I did say I was going to give a tour. We'll do that in just a second. Is there any small little cracks? That really... Mm, lots of detail work here that needs to be done. Let's see. Oh, this is super thrilling. Just getting the rock work here in a decent spot. Alright, thanks. Thanks for tuning in and funding those projects. We will do some work on those eventually. Just a note for anyone who's tuning in just now. Something new that I'm trying is putting in some lore for habitats, and that includes basically each one of you becomes a donor. So there's a fake amount of money you get each. Sorry, what's that, Emix? This is, if you're asking what's this building, this is our Rivers and Lakes Aquarium building. So once you get through these different areas, this is kind of the creme de la creme right now. This is the number one, but we're working on this area. And this is an aquarium for... Thanks. Thanks. What's crazy is that no actual animals are going to be in here. I need to see if Captain Callum's fish pack... He's got spotted bass, he's got black crappie. Doesn't quite have the fish I need. We've got largemouth, but I need smallmouth. We might stuff them in and then fix them up. Yeah, I do have some mods in there, but unfortunately, the so like this aquarium is filled with modded fish. Um, but these aquariums are too small. They just won't work. So we could maybe get this guy, and let me see, largemouth versus smallmouth bass. Because where I live in this area of the south, it's more, we don't really have smallmouth because they prefer cooler waters. They live, these pieces will not, but the modded ones do. I can show you in just a second. So smallmouth has more of a I do have the mods for these fish, but it would require an absorbent amount of space that just doesn't make sense for these fish. So we'll use fishes made from pieces rather than actual fishes. But yeah, emates. So one of the things I'm doing is trying to incorporate lore into the zoo. So basically, each one of y'all acts as a wealthy donor for the zoo. Now, note this is not actual money, though donations through bits are appreciated and do count for more. But basically, each viewer gets a monthly amount. I'm on random rotation, that's why it's acting so weird. Of $1 million that they can spend on any of the different parks that we work on, whether it be our Jurassic World Evolution 3 park, or our other parks. So those are all you can either go onto my YouTube channel to take a look at that, or, whoa, okay, that was glitchy. I can post a link. In fact, I should do that. Chipmunk habitat and insectarium are fully funded. I need to see. This is also a ZSU zoo, so I need to see. Zoo Holdings Tri-State. So if you want to work on put a donation in, you can over donate, but you can only do so up to 3 times the amount that's on there, just so that, because at a certain point it becomes not okay. So I have 1 smallmouth bass, so that works perfect. Then I have 4 rock bass. Oh, I actually own 12. But I don't think 12 will actually fit in here. Now we need to see if we can do something with the black crappie versus black bass or rock bass. We might be able to make this work for black versus bass. So the eye color is different. Some along the fins go a little bit. Color here is more orangish. I feel like 6 in here. Won't it be? Where am I? There. I feel like 6 in here. Won't it be the worst? Maybe even get 12 in here. Got 4 in here so far. Or 5, 6, 7. That looks pretty darn cool if I do say so myself. Pretty darn cool. Let me go ahead. Let me show you. So I do use mods, so I do have a mod that allows me to make the so it's just a glass barrier. If you didn't have mods, what you would do is you just have this as a fully glass barrier. So I just did a small section here. I raised it up, put the water in, and then lowered it back down. So, pretty simple system overall. Neck crack. Need some. Probably want a little bit of like eelgrass. It's not supposed to be a super heavily planted enclosure, but few plants in there works well. And eventually we'll have educational signs along here. And then we'll probably... What font do we want in here? Not that, that's too big. Quite partial to this one. Try this again. Okay, let's see. All right, let's get this in line. Now let's see if I can spell Tennessee. right. And then we just grab all of this. Let's grab this, bring it along. And then we grab everything back here. Meld it into one group. And we'll move it along. Then that looks pretty darn good. I don't say so myself. So that's our Tennessee River Aquarium. We need to still do a little bit more. Just a little bit more of You mean of this one? So I'm doing ZSU, which means the species that we're able to keep I have to trade with other zoos to get. So I only have the one smallmouth bass at the moment. And I think I'm going to keep it that way because the aquarium is beginning to feel a little crowded. But I do feel like he should go somewhere else. I feel like maybe like here. There's also going to be a fish that favors the bottom, though I don't know that we're actually going to put the prop fish in there. Yeah. So we had 12 of these guys, and I wasn't sure I was going to include all 12 in here, but I think that it looks like it would work. I think we do still need like a... I mean like somewhere like this. There should, as the showstopper. Yeah, that does frame it pretty nicely. I mean, as much as And I guess we don't need that to tell us that it's the Tennessee River anymore. We know. As much as we want this to be realistic, it is also supposed to be an work of art, so it makes 100% sense to kind of frame it. Golly, game. I zoomed in, hoping I was going to zoom in for a second, but... So we've got 3 more habitats funded in the terms of tanks. So we've got the Black Warrior River, which we have fish for. The Mobile River, which we do also have some fish for. The coastal plains, we do now have fish for that one as well. Back up a little bit. Okay, cool. Yeah, that looks sick. I do also... Well, that's right, we were going to see if maybe something like... That's a little bit too much. Nope, too much. This is a modded piece. Sorry, can you repeat that? I think... Ooh, I do think that brings it together more. So Smith Lake is one we've got some stuff for. Hatchie River, we've got some stuff for. Can't wait to build this habitat. So any preferences for which one we build for next? I did go by the Black Warrior River the other day. Thanks, yeah, I do think that that works well. Let me give y'all a quick tour in just a second. I want to get some lights in here. Shoot. Okay, cool. I want these always on because that's going to be good for plants. So we might want to change the color a little bit to like a slightly softer blue. And then of course we have to try it at night. Oh, that's why we kept getting a glare. That's pretty sick. That is pretty sick. So now let's look at it without the glare. Oh man, that looks so good. Let me take a screenshot of it. Because we'll need that for... I don't know why it's done that. Alright, let me take a look at it. See, what species are we going to be keeping? Yes, that's right. Let's look at... We are building the Black Warrior habitat. What species? So Black Warrior, I believe, is our shale habitat. Yeah. Eventually, it will have a musk turtle, but the species we can get now for it is the long-eared sunfish. That's not... We're not going to have one of those for a while, but it is what it is. Let's grab all this. See if we can just... Probably take the time to pull this apart, make an individual facade piece. Looks like we also probably need to fix up some of the bolts here. All right. No. I can see where that would be an issue. Split selection from group. Now, I'd have to imagine we didn't get nearly as much stuff as we actually need, but we'll see. Probably still need that stuff in. Then we just bring this down. Oh, and likes on the stream also count as a $25,000 donation. But those are more towards just generic areas rather than habitats. So that's to build like walls and stuff like that. Which we do need to figure out what we're going to do for the wall. And we will, of course, need tons of educational signage, which has kind of become a staple at this point. Probably work on the outer wall of the aquarium at some point as well, but let's do one step at a time. So now I'll show you exactly how I did the water in there. So we'll get this in here. Bring that to like right there. And we want to get it as close as close as possible to right. Because we do want the water to look good once it's actually in there. So once we line up everything, we make sure nothing's peeking through in weird places. So then we go barriers. And now we're obstructed by something. We're probably on path. Yeah, that seems to have been. Oh, and this happens sometimes. Planet Zoo can be quite a finicky animal. Especially when you're trying to get it to do things that it's not meant to. Okay, so we need to find the exact point at which this stops being a jerk. That's less of a jerk. Seems like this is the limiting factor. Okay. Now it's time to see, can we push it again? Okay. And then we'll just turn it to no. And then, what was the substrate on this? Let's say it was gravel. Yeah. Nature. Hide enough rocks. Probably be the best. We might push this wall a little bit more this way. Probably will. In fact, we definitely will. So that we can get these. Actually, this is not the rock I want to use. This is. Now we can. Now we can get these nice slate textures. That gets us a pretty convincing shale look. Trying to remember what fish I have in here. Or at least what I have in the plans, I should say. Don't have much longer. So good, you got that's like long ear sunfish. Thanks. Yeah, it really looks like a slate or shale shelf, which I think works pretty well. Pretty common from what I saw of the rocks in the area. Because I actually, as we were driving, I was looking around at the rocks, looking like, how do these form? This is pretty close to what it looks like. Second. Not much longer, but we can at least get this shelf done. Back wall. Maybe get the side wall done. Something like that. And then we'll have a few be like a lighter brown. Or lighter gray. That's the color. Yeah, these work pretty well together. Some more time. Oh, hey Sailfish Studios, welcome to the stream. Yeah, we're working on a shale shelf. For our aquarium building, which we're slowly beginning to complete. We're about to end the stream, but got a couple more minutes, so we're gonna try and make it as nice as possible. So these are from Captain Callum. I readjusted them. So this is the largemouth bass that I made into a smallmouth bass. And then these I changed from the black crappie to rock bass. But mainly Callum. I technically could ask him to make one for me because he's made stuff for me before, but I just readjust on some of his stuff, and he appreciates people actually just tweaking his stuff. But he's one of my top use pieces to create animals. Him and Robustus. Both of them are really great, and Robustus has actually shown up on some of my live streams before. I think I want to do something different for this rock wall, just because it's so different. I don't want the shale to be too overpowering. How does that look? Besides the fact that this is completely monochromatic. That's better. Alright, let's go back to my reference image. Scroll down. Oops. And in this tank, we're going to have the spotted bass, I think it is. So for the black warrior, we've got the warrior bass, the spotted bass, the long-ear sunfish. And then we needed to see the reference image. So we don't have much longer. Let's see. I don't think there's much more beyond that, but we do want something in there that the musk turtle can get up. Because the musk turtle will need to bask even if they don't do it a ton. That doesn't seem super secure. There we go. That can be their basking spot, but I don't really have time to do anything else in here. Just really quickly check and see. I don't remember him having sunfish in his pack, really. Crappie, catfish. No. There's no other fish that I have downloaded right now, is there? Jellyfish, Draxfish, Aquarium set. Let's see what that looks like. I think these are all going to be salt water. Which is very cool, but not what I need. Let's just check the workshop real quick. Like, there is a mod for them, but workshop fish product. I just need a starting ground. Sunfish. Okay, there ain't nothing. That's okay. We'll have to make one from the black crappie, but that will be another time. We might even do one that's the male coloration. But yeah, thanks guys for tuning in. I do appreciate it. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already to see what we're going to be working on in the future. Just show off this habitat for a second before logging out. Yeah, go watch Sunday's video if you want to see what's been happening in the zoo recently. But for that, I'll have to